Hello beautiful people and welcome back to our first show. In our first section where we talk about daily issues, daily subjects during this quarantine, we will discuss this big question about communicating in writing.
Okay.
How to avoid misunderstandings, it's the biggest challenge, I would say. How to communicate with people as transparent or as easy as you can and avoid misunderstandings.
When you text to people or when you use words or when you write?
Yeah, absolutely. Emails, texting, anything except voice messages, actually.
Yeah.
Because on social media, like the simplest things, even with friends and family, sometimes they misunderstand your tone or the way you are coming or the way you are talking. And like, why are you mad? I'm not mad. This is how you sounded in writings, but you were not mad. So emails are also tricky. So what are the ways you try to avoid to be as expressive as you can and avoid misunderstandings?
Okay. So I will answer it from business perspective. From business perspective, one of the things that I generally try to do is try to not write lots, try to create bullet points, different bullet points, but and try to demonstrate my philosophy or my question, whatever it is, in different ways. So sometimes I write it and I'll add a presentation to it just to make sure that my point is derived the right way. But so the right thing that I can use is asking the question. Asking what they think, what they agree or don't agree, and from that you can learn as easy if they did or did not understand.
Mm-hmm. So to avoid misunderstanding, you actually ask the question, did you understand me, or how did you understand my message?
For
To
sure.
see how it was perceived, to try to adjust the next time and try to explain to that person right away, right?
Yeah.
How about social media? One trick that will loosen up the air sometimes is using emojis.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you talk without emojis, it means that you are mad. So to avoid sounding mad, try to add emojis. Sometimes you are actually mad, but you try to
Cool it down.
cool it down a little bit and add a laughing emoji at the end, or like a tongue emoji. I actually try to avoid messaging as much as I can. Of course, if I'm talking to a really close friend, then it doesn't matter. Even if they misunderstood something, then they will call me right away. If Josie sends me a message and I'll say, what, is he mad or anything? I'll call him right away to see what's happening. But if I talk with somebody that I don't know, I try to avoid messages and that comes from experience, like knowing people, whether it's somebody that you are getting into a serious relationship with, or somebody that is really sort of important in your life and you want to really know. Try to avoid messages at first. Try to send voice messages or just call that person. Because I've known people like in relationships through messaging, and it usually goes not great because we don't understand each other, and since we're not that close, we don't ask to that person to explain themselves. You just say, why did he say that? I don't like the way he talked, or I don't like the way he said it. Maybe he's mad, maybe he's not, and you don't actually ask that person and you think that was the way it went down, but then it didn't, because maybe later you will talk about it and he will tell you, yeah, remember when you got mad about, I didn't get mad, you should have asked me, you know? Anyway, so getting to know people through social media is tricky enough because you're not seeing the expressions of those people.
Do you have an experience from it? Because you're talking from heart now.
Absolutely, yeah. I said it.
New experience?
New experiences? No.
Okay.
It's really past experiences, and I was talking, it's like in particular, I'm talking about relationships.
Yeah.
Getting to know somebody.
By messaging, I know.
Yeah. Sometimes you live in the same place, whether it's a long distance. If it's a long distance relationship, you have to work on communication. This is the only link between you. So if you do it wrong, like messaging all the time, not talking, and even over the phone, voice, only voice messages are not enough. You have to see the facial expression to really know the person, how they reacted, how they took what you were saying. So try to find ways, because there are plenty like Skype, Zoom, or whatever, Zoom is for work, but you can find ways to talk face to face, like virtually, or just meet face to face. And yeah.
Try to mix it, even in work. Even in work, although
same thing.
It's necessary to write down, just to have, it's not proof, but just to make sure that you have an historical things either for you or even for the project, just to make sure that you come back to that and we are aligned. But sometimes do a call by Zoom or by phone, express everything, accept everything, approve everything, and then send an email just to keep it out.
Yeah, or leave a trace. Actually, I have another example while at work. Sometimes people find it easy to just send emails, long emails, whereas that person is just in front of you or just next to you, but they took this habit of sending mails, maybe to leave a trace, like you said, or maybe because they are avoiding confrontation. And sometimes it really things heats up easily via emails, because it's just too professional when you know that person actually and you take coffee breaks with them. So I usually, whenever I get upset when reading an email, because it happens, I find it a little bit uncalled for to talk about things that worked or didn't work that way. You can come up to me. So I try to calm down, go to that person, talk to them face to face. Okay, what is wrong today? Tell me, what was wrong? This is not working. Okay, can you show me? Can we try together? And try to loosen up the air by actually talking to that person. And then, like you said, if you have to, you can reply by email, like to follow up and to give a trace, because usually the emails are sent to like a group, so the group should keep a tab of things going on. But yeah, communication is really hard, but it's really important for human relationships everywhere. So don't take it lightly, try to work on it and try to optimize it as much as you can. Yeah. So, moving on to the next and last section.
So, section number 2 is the quote of the day.
Yeah, so we read inspirational quotes to be inspired and inspire you guys with us. And today's quote is, you can only perceive real beauty in a person as they get older. Anouk Aimé. Yeah. Usually you love old people. They are so full of life and experience and wisdom. I don't know. You feel like, they usually have something to say, have interesting stories to say, like we hope we will have later in life. Yeah, when you listen to your grandma or your grandpa, usually you enjoy their stories because you feel like they've been through a lot of things and interesting things that you didn't have the chance as a kid, obviously, to go through. So, and there's this beauty in this wisdom, I would say. I find, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so we are talking here from young people point of view. Although I did work with an association which did push us to work with elderlies, and there is a lot of things that we take it from granted that other people don't. And there is the other thing is, which is very key, even in a way we talk. When you are young, you are very active, you are youth. If you have dream, also if you have dream, you become very technical, you want to do this, and you become very, try to be less human as possible, try to achieve, act, do it. And the more you grow up, the more you see the life which go with it, which mean, we can take a simple example. The people who have dreams at the beginning of they think only about careers, but after a while they think about family when they become older, and after a while they balance family and work, and after a while they see the whole experience, and they see their grandchildren and how it goes. So you see in human generally, when you try to listen, you see that we have different way of expressing while we are growing up. We become more and more philosophical, more and more embracing the word, more and more embracing the macroeconomic, micro crisis, micro life. But in the same times, one of the things that I did identify in this association, that elderly, the only thing they have negative is the regrets. That's why I try to live life without regrets.
Not all of them, but yeah.
Yeah, the only bad thing that they have is being regretful. Like they don't say, I wish I didn't do that. They say generally, I wish I did that.
Yeah.
So having that such a regret did push me to make the decision that I did make, because I don't want to have regrets. I try to minimize by taking the chance and the leap for things that I believe in. And the other thing is try to have that mindset to not regret if you take the wrong path. It is the wrong path. So yes, elderly see things differently. The more you get older, the more, even with our parents, like they were more structured. After a while, they become more philosophical, more seeing the life, the
more cool.
Yeah, and the same goes with us, and the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even us, we start every year. You start appreciating things that you took for granted, like we said, or things that we just flew by or passed by without taking a moment to appreciate those things. So yeah, the older we get, the more beauty we see, the more things we start to appreciate. So yeah, age obviously brings wisdom and brings beauty to the mind of the people aging.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And with that,
we finish our episode and the week.
Thank you very much. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask us, or if you have any suggestion. That's why we did delete the section, because we did have that input. So if you have any ideas or
didn't actually delete it, you will see it somewhere else, maybe soon,
in different ways. But it's all coming back from we do this, so we grow together. So the more
we take your feedback into consideration and try to work and test and try new things. So thank you guys for interacting with us. Don't hesitate to comment below or send us, like usual, your messages through Instagram, LinkedIn, and email.
Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Have a great end of the week and a great weekend.
Bye.
Bye.